thanks to David Hershey, who cornered me earlier tonight, and he said to me, he said, "You know what Alan's nickname in Vietnam was, don't you?" I said, "No." And I said, "I know he won a Bronze Star. I know he was a captain. I know, he was actually the veteran of 2 wars. He actually was part of, Alan will always test you this in terms of sort of arcane American history. He was a veteran of the invasion of the Dominican Republic. Look it up. Google it, as we say. So he was in 2 wars. But David told me, like, oh yeah, his nickname was Dai Wee Kio. And I said, what does that mean? And he says, that's Vietnamese for Captain Cheap. Is that true? Okay. On that note, there was the thrill in Manila. There was the rumble in the jungle. There was the disaster in New Orleans. Anyway, we're very honored to have tonight something that's not going to be confidential. It's going to be out there, and I really don't need to say anything more, but Chef Bourdain, would you please come up and do your thing? Thank you.
This is awkward. Look at this. Nice, big, expensive meal. They rented out all of the Bourdain, right? How much did this cost? They're totally going to fire you after this. You realize that, right? Totally. You're going to go to him in a week, and he's going to say, what are you crying about? We rented out all of the Bourdain for you. We threw you a nice meal. That's it for you. Listen, I said bad things about Alan Richman, okay, after we dropped the big steamer on New Orleans. Some very bad things. Some of them might have been ill-considered, some of them might have been deserved. After which he said frankly, some bad things about me. In fact, shortly after I referred to him in a joking way as, I forget the word exactly. Coincidentally, he decided to review the restaurant that I worked at 10 years ago, which he called the worst restaurant in the universe. The universe. Statistically, this can't be true, okay? I don't know, but I suspect that it was a hit job. Among other things, most of them unflattering. In fact, all of them unflattering. I believe he said something. He said the steaks at Leal were as tough as Hulk Hogan's foreskin. Which sort of begs the question how you know, but I'm gonna... He said that the dining room stank at Leal. The restaurant I worked at 10 years ago. So this was what basically, he hunted down my ex-girlfriend from high school and fucking cold-cocked her, okay? He said the dining room at Leal stank like the Augean stables. I had to look that up, by the way. Apparently that's a bad smell. Apparently, also, Alan was unhappy with his table. I responded, of course, after reading this slam of my former compatriots, all of them, they're 20% or more likely 12% tips, and their livelihoods depend on the continuing patronage of New Yorkers, which might possibly have been damaged by your cool and relentless review. I responded in measured and dignified fashion. I thought, now, if you Google Alan Richman, it suggests, right under the name Alan Richman, under other searches, Alan Richman is a douchebag. Always in for... Basically, you've been Santorumed into eternity. Now, unto forever, unto eternity, you will Google Santorum and you will see anal froth. You will Google Richman and you will see douchebag. But I come to praise Richman as much as I can praise any archenemy. I have to say I was impressed. Honestly and sincerely, I was impressed. I write for the HBO series Treme, and I was sitting down with we're mapping out the season, and we're talking about possible storylines, and I'm thinking, how about we create a character kind of like Alan Richman, who comes down and, drops a big fucking deuce on New Orleans right after they emerge from this horrifying disaster. And David Simon goes, how about we get Alan Richman? And I'm like, I don't think that's really going to happen. But shockingly enough, this man agreed to appear in a scene in which he walks into a restaurant. He happens to arrive at a restaurant where our New Orleans heroine, spokesperson for all of New Orleans' hopes, dreams, and frustrations, happens to be working in the kitchen. If you haven't seen the scene, she walks out into the dining room, hearing that Alan's in the restaurant, and throws a Sazerac in his face. I gotta say, it took a lot of courage to do that scene. I admire it. It took a lot of courage. I was shocked that he agreed to do it. I was impressed. I admire it. I think it, like I said, I think it took a lot of courage. The kind of courage that comes with service to your country in Vietnam. The kind of guts and character it takes to stand up and, in spite of your own sexual preference, work for year after year at basically a gay lifestyle publication. Face it. This is a magazine about picking socks. What socks should I wear? No socks. Really? No pocket squares fucking in? I admire that about Alan. I really do. Also, I like to watch that clip of the drink in the face over and over and over. And I fucking touch myself when I watch it. I'm touching myself now just thinking about it. I know I'm expected to be nasty. But again, look at this guy. A distinguished line of his profession. Like, 52 James Beard Awards, right? Every fucking year. His work's honored in the James Beard Pantheon along with such other timeless classics like 3 Easy Steps to Bundt Cake. 1, 2, 3 Cupcakes. And Inside Todd English. Something I think Gail Green could probably write about extensively. Is Sergeant Pepper here tonight? No, apparently not. Just because she wasn't invited is usually not an impediment. Anyway. Look at what these evil fucking pricks makes this man do. This former, if someone incontinent, past master. Lists. Top 10 lists. That's what you motherfuckers do to this man. This 52-time James Beard Award winner, cocksuckers, look what you do. Web content. We need web content, dude. That's what all the kids are doing now. 10 best chicken wings in America. That's what he's writing now for you assholes. Top 10 manliest sandwiches. Look at them. Bad people. Fucking you. Top 10 hippest gastropubs. Like this guy would know? And please, tell me what was up with the 11-year-old food critic article. You had to assign that. They made him schlep some little kid around to Danielle and the Bourdain. Like, anybody gives a fuck what this little twerp has to say about anything? The little pisher can't even fucking drink. You're supposed to criticize anything? How can you review a restaurant when you're not fucking drunk? How can you be a restaurant critic if you're not an alcoholic? Still, Alan lingers, sitting out there in Brooklyn, looking like somebody's perverted Uncle Ernie. Blinking, uncomprehending, in his dog fur-encrusted tweeds, at the hipster apocalypse, compiling yet another web-only listicle. It ain't right. It It ain't right for this man. I feel for you, Alan Richman. You deserve better than these swine. By the way, they've already clearly recruited a replacement for you. Some scrawny young fuck in a fedora and ironic sunglasses. He's like waiting out in the car now. You are no doubt a good writer. Clearly, you have a sense of humor because you subjected yourself to this anal rampage. And I've racked my brain to say something to sum up a long career. And I can definitely say, I can say this. It took some time thinking about it. Something nice I could say about you. You know what? At least you're not John Mariani.
Wow. And now we know what Howard Cosell felt like.